papers now. Flo's with us here on set, unusually for a Monday morning here in Paris. Good to have you with us. Papers are focusing on French Guiana, aren't they? The overseas territory that's seen some social arrest over the last week. Been called for a general strike today.
Let's start with a paper that I think I've never used in this press review. It's called the French Guiana, so it's a local paper in French Guiana. They're talking about a rapport de force, so a power struggle that we're seeing in French Guiana today with that day of a general strike. And if you want more details, you can also check out Le Parisien today. They have a good overview of the situation. For weeks now, people have been protesting against a wide range of issues. You have insecurity, a struggling economy. Unemployment, for instance, is 22% in this department. And so the population is fed up, and that's why they're striking today.
And the mainland papers, they seem to be pretty divided, really, over what the root cause is here.
That's right. If we take a look at left-wing papers, they say that the real problem is that essentially Guyana has been left behind by the state, and that's why you can see it's a power keg, according to L'Humanité, so the communist paper. Protesters are exasperated because they just feel left behind when it comes to insecurity and rising poverty. And this article quotes a local, for instance, who says, look, you know, when it comes to the Kourou space centers, there's a lot of the state there. There are patrols by the Foreign Legion, by the military police and everything. So that area is very safe, but the rest of the country is completely unsafe and abandoned.
And the other papers, though, saying actually it's more a story of gang violence here.
Well, let's take a look at Le Figaro, which is a conservative right-wing paper, which says that the main problem is violence. It's gangrened the whole territory. And this article actually starts by quoting the murder rate, which is the highest in France. It's about one murder a week in French Guiana. So a huge murder rate, particularly compared to the population. There are about 250,000 inhabitants in Guyana, which once again is the biggest department in France. It's a large territory. On top of those 250,000 inhabitants, there are a lot of illegal immigrants, according to Le Figaro. Tens of thousands of them, in fact, from Haiti and Suriname and other regional countries. And according to this article, there's been a real proliferation of gangs, of mafias, particularly drug and gold mafias.
Now, Flo's found one piece which says that in the face of rising insecurity, some citizens have taken it upon themselves to protect the population.
There's one group calling themselves the 500 Brothers. You can read more about it here. You can see they wear black balaclavas as well to mask their faces. Officially, they're all about non-violence, but this article says actually they're sometimes accused of kind of flirting with the rules of militias themselves. And over the past couple of days, they've carried out a number of stunts around the country to denounce this endemic violence in French Guiana. For instance, 4 days ago, they forcefully closed the town hall of Cayenne, which is the capital of Guyana, to essentially and also a store and a bank, and because these areas didn't want to follow the general strike, and so they were forcefully encouraged to do so.
Now, the situation there is also becoming a hot topic in the presidential campaign here in France. Less than 1 month before round one, many people still don't really know who to vote for.
About half of French voters.
Half.
It's really
Yeah.
unprecedented. And voters from the left and from the right, you can read more about it in Le Parisien today, talking about the situation. They don't know who to vote for. And Le Parisien interviews some of them. One of them, I like this guy, 58-year-old Hervé. He says, none of the candidates stick out. I don't want to get rid of one bozo to replace him with a super bozo. So I'm not very enchanted with politics there. A lot of people just feel confused. They're not satisfied with their party's candidate or just with politics in general.
And to help voters make up their mind, many voters are actually focusing on various campaign themes, if you
Le
like.
Parisien has a whole series on the presidential campaign, education, insecurity. Today they're focusing on France's elderly population. Who is going to take care of our senior citizens? Wonders aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien. Of course, the number of elderly people in France is increasing really fast. We've got the baby boomers generation that's getting older. It's going to be a real social and economic challenge for the next president. So if you want to learn more about just what each candidate thinks about this, Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France has actually compared the 5 main candidates' program on elderly issues. Libération, meanwhile, the left-wing paper, is focusing on culture today. You can see they're upset about the fact that it has been a forgotten topic in this campaign. It doesn't really seem to be a priority for the candidates. They seem more preoccupied by other issues and, of course, scandals.
Yes, scandals. The campaign has been rather sidetracked by some serious scandals, many concerning the Conservative candidate François Fillon. He's now accused President François Hollande of orchestrating media links that have actually dented his image.
It's a big story, actually. So last week he accused Fillon accused Hollande of heading a secret cell. This is called a cabinet noir in French. And essentially, he said that Hollande has been responsible for leaking these stories about François Fillon. He says this is a scandal involving the state. Now, L'Obs tries to figure out what in the world is going on here because Hollande has condemned this as being a very untruthful allegation. And you can see L'Obs here saying that François Fillon's campaign is in the middle of a conspiracy crisis. According to L'Obs, Fillon, it's kind of a strategy. Facing accusations himself, he's kind of cornered by all these accusations. So he's playing this conspiracy card. And even if it means that he has to keep going further and further with this conspiracy card, then not that many people are buying, it must be said. Let's end with a cartoon by Willem in Libération today. You can see here François Fillon and his wife Penelope. Penelope, of course, who has been accused of having a fictitious job in the French Parliament. This is kind of the origin of the whole scandal. And you can see them at this amusement park here trying to sell tickets to this cabinet noir, this secret cell with Hollande there with the skeleton. It doesn't seem like people are really lining up to buy tickets to that.
Not much of a queue, is there? All right. Thank you, Flo. Nice cartoon. Flo Vilmanot with the papers on France 24.